Annyeonghaseyo, and welcome to George Mason University. My name is Nicolaides. I'm an assistant professor of management, and I teach various management classes here at Mason. And today I wanted to give you a very short presentation as to what management is and what can you expect to learn if you attend here George Mason University and you major in management. And also, I'll give you a small problem at the end and see how you guys do with solving it. I also put a handout together with some basics as to what management is. You can read it before you go to bed tonight. You have trouble sleeping. So, and if you have any questions at the end of my talk, you can more than feel free to contact me. I'll also give you my email, and you can also contact me by email as well, or you can chat with me later on. Okay? Sounds good? So, today, these are some of the points that I want to cover. What is management, first of all? What does being efficient and effective mean in management? What do managers do? The principal things that a manager does. What are some of the rewards that you will gain by attending here, George Mason University, and majoring in management? Then, as I said earlier, I'll give you a small problem which has been used all around the world for the last 30 years, and it teaches us something very, very important about modern management and how to manage people right now. And I'll give you maybe 5-10 minutes to ask me some questions here on the spot. And as I said, if you have any other more specific questions, we can talk about it afterwards as much as you like. Okay? So what is management? Many people think of management as, there we go, trying to satisfy and achieve an organization's goals. Organization, company, usually may have different types of goals. You might want to create new products. Of course, all companies want to make money, right? If they don't make profit, they cease to exist. So that's an obvious goal. But there's also other goals. Company might want to increase its human capital, bring more employees, expand its line of products. They might want to create new products from the existing list of products they have. So whatever goal you have as a company, the job of your manager is to satisfy those goals and meet them. And they do this by a couple of things. The first thing they do is they put together the work of their people. And people is a very, very important word in management, okay? And actually the way management works nowadays is by seeing a person, not as a number, but as a person, an individual. Understanding their needs, their personalities, how to manage them better, how to make them how to bring the best out of them. Does that make sense? Yeah? And the other thing that managers do by trying to satisfy these goals is 4 things. They plan, they organize, they lead, and they control. And this is what we call the 4 principles of management. These are the 4 functions of a manager. And I'll go very, very briefly today as to what these things mean. And of course, we can spend a class 1 semester long at least in each of these things. Okay? Another keyword that I have here is efficiency and effectiveness. Those are 2 hallmarks of being an exceptional manager. You have to be effective and efficient. What does that mean, effectiveness and efficiency in this case? To be efficient means to use whatever resources you have. That's usually your people, money, time is also a resource, by the way. Use them wisely and use them cost effectively. Okay? Do not go over budget, stay on budget, or if possible, under budget. If you can do that, then you are efficient. So at Hyundai, for example, trying to make a car, pick whatever car you want. At Hyundai, great company. Sorry, Hyundai. Right? Yeah, you go to America, they call it Hyundai. No, it's Hyundai. I don't know when I came here. So if you're at Hyundai and you're able to make a car with less people, you're able to make a car today than with less people than you did yesterday, for example, then that will be efficient. Okay? So using your resources in a wise manner and cost effectively is key. Okay? Make sense? Easy, right? Now, what does effective mean? Effective means to meet your goals or meet your target. Effectiveness is based on results, okay? Achieving your results. If your goal is to get an A in high school, for example, in one of your classes, and you get an A, then you are effective, okay? And for example, if you're a car dealer or you're a manager in a car dealership department and you're selling cars, meeting your goal, let's say your goal is to sell 1,000 cars in 1 month. If you achieve that, then you are effective. Okay, that would be an example of effectiveness for management. Does this make sense? Yeah? Okay. Now, question for you guys to see if you understood what efficiency and what effectiveness is. You know Burger King?
Yes.
So at Burger King, they wanted to increase their sales, they wanted to increase their revenue, they wanted to increase their profits. So they decided to start offering breakfast, and in many locations, they offer breakfast items all the day. So you go at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're able to buy a croissant or one of these sausage biscuits. Okay? So this decision by Burger King's managers, what is this? An example of effectiveness, efficiency, or you don't know? Oh. So what is it?
Effectiveness.
Effectiveness. Why is that? Very good.
Because that's a now.
Okay. Well, they want to make money, right? They want to increase their profits. They want to meet their goal of selling more products, making more money. And so that would be an example of effectiveness, achieving their goals by doing so. And actually, it's a good trick, and many other fast food companies have started offering breakfast items all day long as well. Not sure here in Korea, can you get breakfast at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Breakfast items? So you might see this in Korea too. But that's what they do in the States, and it's been a strategy that's been working for them. Okay? That's another thing that you'll learn in management, that some practices work very well in some countries because of a particular culture, but they might not work as well in other countries, again, because of culture. For example, you know Ralph Lauren, the brand, right? They do these special edition t-shirts with, they have like usually number 3, and they have like this big polo player. You've seen those t-shirts? Yeah? Well, you don't see any t-shirts here in Korea having number 4, do you? No. Why? Because here in Korea, number 4 apparently is an unlucky number. You don't like number 4. So you'll never see a t-shirt in Ralph Lauren sold here in Korea that has the big number 4. No, you'll see number 3. Usually I think they do number 3. I've seen number 23 sometimes, but you won't see number 4. So that's an example of where some cultural differences, values in one country might make you make a different decision as to what you feature in your products, for example. But again, that's something that you would cover in class and in different classes. Things that work well in some countries, but they don't work well in others. So maybe you'll see this in Korea, maybe not, but you do see breakfast items offered, okay? Now, sometimes, as I said earlier, you have to be effective, you have to be efficient, but sometimes being effective and efficient might mean that you're not very effective, and sometimes you may be effective but not very efficient. So what do I mean by that? Let's check out this little drawing I found. Can you see this? So this guy is calling the phone, he's calling the customer service line of a company, and he hears this: "Please listen carefully as our menu has changed. Press 1 to hear this message again. Press 2 to hang up. Thank you. Goodbye." Has this ever happened to you, like calling a company to complain or to ask a question and waiting online for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and never talking to a human? So this is an example of efficiency, right? Companies want to be more efficient, so they're implementing technology, they're implementing machines, telephone menus to answer customer calls and direct them where they need to. So this is an example of efficiency, but it's also an example where effectiveness is not really high. Why? Because people don't like to talk to machines. We like to talk with other people, okay? So if I'm calling up Korean Air to ask how can I get my miles on my ticket registered to my mileage card, and I'm waiting for 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, and at the end it takes me an hour and a half to get this done, I'm not happy. Next time I'm going to go buy a ticket, it might not be with Korean Air, it might be with another airline where they have a better customer service experience. So it's good to be effective, it's good to be efficient, but you have to also think, you have to not sacrifice effectiveness when you're trying to be efficient. Okay, because reaching your goals, that's the number one goal. Making a profit, keeping customers happy, good customer service in this example, and that's how your company can continue growing and making money. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, very good. So, what do managers do exactly? I mentioned these four words previously: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. That's what all managers have to do, and that's what you should do effectively and efficiently. So planning basically means setting goals and deciding how to achieve them. Okay? Organizing means arranging tasks, putting people together in teams, giving them resources to go out and start pursuing their goal, or whatever goal you already set for them under planning. Leading, which is one of the most hardest things to do as a manager, because you deal with people, as I said, and different people are different. You have to be good with people, have to have good, what we call soft skills, interpersonal skills with people. So leading has to do with motivation, directing others, persuading them, influencing them, keeping them up to speed and up to their toes, and making sure they have whatever they need to do their jobs right. Okay? So that would be leading. And controlling is when you do what we call performance management or monitoring. Okay? So you make sure that everybody is on a good timeline, they're meeting their goal, or they have a plan, and making sure that their performance is up to speed, or it's acceptable. If it's not, then you need to intervene and make sure that, and see what's going wrong, and try and correct things. Okay? So, and here at Mason, or many management classes that we offer, you'll learn many things in each of these areas, which we also call the principles of management. Okay? The four main principles, the four main things that the manager does. Okay? Plan, organize, lead, and control. Or check, keep checking. Make sure that everything's going well. So let me give you an example and see here. What do you think? So Hannah checks a sales and expense report at the end of each workday. What function, what principle of management is this, based on what I just said? Leading, she's organizing, she's controlling, or she's planning. So it's the end of the day, and she's checking the sales and expenses report to see how her team did on a given day. So based on this stuff, what is that, do you think? just checking an expense report. What's that? What is number C? Very good. Controlling, very good, exactly. Just checking progress, is monitoring performance, making sure that her team or department, whatever it is doing well and they're achieving their goals for the day. Okay? Very good. That wasn't too hard, right? Okay. So, if you come here at GM UK and you major in management, what are the things that you might expect to gain from doing so? There's many benefits, and apart from, perfecting your English skills, communicating in English, getting a degree from a very respected institution, American institution, I'll leave the obvious and I'll speak a little bit more about management-related things. Number one, you're going to learn how to motivate, influence, and engage others. Okay? Essentially, you're going to learn at least how to become an effective and efficient leader, not manager, leader. Leaders are different than managers. Not all managers are leaders, okay? In today's workplace, we want people to be leaders, not just managers, managing things. I could go on and on and on talking about the difference between what is a leader and what is a manager, but here we'd like to grow leaders of tomorrow, not managers of tomorrow. Okay? Very important distinction. You will also learn how businesses operate. What are the different departments a typical business has? What do those departments do? What do they need to do? What are examples of companies that are successful, and what are examples of companies that are not very successful? What is company A doing that works, and what is company B doing that doesn't work? How do things change? How do you change? How do you develop your organization and make sure that you're up to speed with your competitors? How do you maintain a competitive advantage, sustainable competitive advantage? Okay. So you're going to increase your understanding as to what a business is and how it works, and how you can keep it, how you can manage it to make sure that you sustain a competitive advantage. Most importantly, I think you're going to learn to manage yourself and develop skills that will help you succeed in any workplace that you may choose to work, domestic, here in Korea, or going abroad. So some of those skills that you may develop are self-management skills, listening skills, handling change, managing stress is a big one, especially nowadays. There's so much pressure from everyone coming from different parts, not just your parents, by the way, and coping with organizational politics, which is a fact of life and a fact of any organization. And this is just some very basic skills that you're going to learn here at Mason. And another thing that's very, very important, you're going to learn evidence-based principles for the modern workplace. There's many things that we think work, but they don't. There's many things that we think make sense and they should work, but they really don't. Okay? So it's very important to keep on top and do whatever the research, the science discovers. And that typically changes at a relatively fast pace, especially with technology nowadays, and with so many researchers around the world doing their research. So it's hard to keep on track of things, but it's important nonetheless. And it's our job, as professors, to keep up ahead with the current research and current best practices and teach them to our students. So let me show you an example of what I mean, evidence-based principles for the modern workplace. So this is one of my favorite problems, and it's called the Candlestick Problem. So check it out, let's see if you can solve it, okay? So I give you a candle, I give you thumbtacks. You guys know what thumbtacks are, right? Things that you pierce the wall, stick things to the wall, right? And a pair of matches. And your goal is to attach the candle to the wall, light it up, okay, in a way that the wax does not drip on the table. Okay? So put the candle on the wall, light it up in a way that the wax will not drip on the table. Does everybody understand what the task is here? What the question is? Okay. Think about it for 1 minute or so, and let's see what your answers might be. You have candle, thumbtacks, matches, and your goal is to put the candle on the wall without the wax dripping on the table. Another 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds. So, time is up. What do you guys have? How do we do this? Anybody have any suggestions, ideas? How do you solve this problem? Which is a creativity problem, by the way. It was invented in 1945 by a psychologist. Yes. 1945. Carl Dunkert is the guy's name. So, some students, some people, oh, we have a, yeah?
But I don't want to take
Professor
anybody
Morris.
else's answer away. I have two.
Okay.
Can I give you my first one, or do you want me to wait?
I want to hear from the students first, before you give them ideas. So anybody has any ideas? Don't be shy, it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. That's another thing, you know. In your life, you learn don't make mistakes. Failure is bad, you know. Career management says no. You should encourage people to do mistakes and then teach them how to learn from their mistakes. So that's another evidence-based recommendation. So yeah.
Attach the candle.
Attach the candle
Under the
under the table. Okay, I like that, that's smart. But I should have said here, put the candle on top of the table. On the wall, as it should be on top of the table. I like the way you're thinking though, that's cool.
Lit up a match and melt down the bottom side of the candle and then stick it to the wall. And then lit up and like right above that fountain box. And then lit up a candle and the walls would drip. And the fountain box under the table.
So wait, so melt the candle, stick it to the wall,
Yeah.
and how will the wax not drip on the table?
Well, then go like right above the fountain box. And then that walls will drip to the fountain box under there.
Okay, good idea, very good idea. But actually, if you start doing it, the candle doesn't really stick to the wall and it falls. But good idea. Some other people think that we can thumbtack the candles. This is the solution.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, So, and the key here is to overcome what we call functional fixedness, thinking that the box of thumbtacks only serves as something where you store the thumbtacks. Okay? So it's thinking outside the box and understanding that this can also be used for different other purposes, like put the candle in the box. So, and this is a problem on creativity and overcoming what I said earlier, functional fixedness. So, this experiment has been conducted all around the world with different types of people, young, older, professionals, employees, students, and many times when they do this experiment, they put people in two groups. And in one group, group one, they tell them, we're going to, this is the other problem, and we want to time you to see how much time it usually takes for people to solve the problem, okay? And then, so we'll put the time notes group, okay? And then they have group number 2, which they tell them, if you solve this problem, we're going to give you $10. And if you're the fastest in solving this problem, the fastest, we're going to give you $20. Okay? And so teams do this, work, and who do you think finds the solution first? $20, right? So common wisdom would tell you that this group finds it, solves it faster, right? 30 years so far, doing this time and time again, always these guys win, always. Usually group number 2 is about 3.5 minutes late. Takes 3.5 minutes more for this group, the money group, the incentivized group, to solve this problem. Doesn't make sense, right? Because you learned in your life, if I want performance, I pay for it. Okay? You want somebody to do their jobs well, you give them a bonus, you give them a commission, you give them pizza, you give them, whatever they want, right? No, doesn't. Incentives don't always contribute to high performance. Okay? And many times actually stifle performance. So, very quick, one last thing. They did the same experiment, but this time they presented things in this way. Okay? So they took the thumbtacks outside the box and they put them here on the side. Okay? And they did the exact same experiment. Group 1, we're going to time you for norms, see how much time it takes you to solve this problem. Group number 2, $10 if you solve it correctly, $20 if you're the first group to solve it. What happened this time, do you think? Well, this time, this group won, okay? And won by a lot. They were much faster than group 1, okay? So what do we learn from this? When I give you the material like this, it's easier, okay? It makes more sense. It's what I call the candlestick problem. Oops. Candlestick problem for dummies. You guys know in books how to make a bicycle for dummies, how to install Microsoft Word for dummies? Yeah? When the task is very simple, or it's simpler, it's more mechanistic, there's clear directions, how to engage in it, money works, money does well. But for most tasks, the tasks of the modern workplace, where there's 1,000 solutions, you don't know what's correct, for problems that are like this, and not like this, which is mostly the problems that we face in today's workplace, we mostly have this type of stuff, not this type of stuff, this type of stuff. So for these types of problems, money and incentives don't really work well. Okay, so when I said earlier, you're going to learn evidence-based management, things that research tells us. Before, if you didn't take management and you wanted your employees to create a new product be creative, for example, create a new product, this type of problem, and you give them money, it's not really going to be effective, okay, nor efficient. If you want your teams to paint a wall and you give them money to do that, so painting a wall is more of this type of thing, more easier, you don't have to be creative, you don't have to innovate, then money works. But for this type of problems, which as I argue are the types of problems you encounter in today's workplace, then money doesn't work, okay? So this is an example of how some things that are common wisdom that you think that's how things would turn out, that's what you would expect people perform when you pay them, doesn't really work this case, okay? So that's just one example of the many things that you're going to learn here at Mason if you decide to major in management, okay? So, having said that, and I know I'm over time, do you have any questions for me? Pretty cool problem, right? Yes?
I couldn't get that water and plastic are not organizing and
So organizing, it's deciding, it's putting people together, giving them tasks that they want to engage in, and organizing them, okay? Organizing people, organizing resources, giving them money, whatever they might need. Controlling is checking their performance, making sure they're on top of things, and making sure they're meeting the goals that you're setting for them. That's the big difference. Okay, I've been talking a lot, so thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you here at Mason maybe next semester. I don't know, are you graduating this year? You guys are graduating this year? Yeah? Yeah. So it's a very good school with very good people, good professors, very supportive. I like to consider myself a good example of somebody that's approachable. You can talk to me, you shouldn't be afraid or scared. It's a very different mentality than the traditional Korean mentality that you probably got used to in your high schools. If you have any questions, or you have another solution for the candlestick problem that works, then please feel free to email me. This is my email address. It's Nicolaides @gmu.edu. I think they put it on the handout as well. Yeah? Okay, excellent. So yeah, I'm here for your service. I'm here to help you. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. And thank you for listening to me. 감사합니다.